Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV. Today we're going to talk about how you can survive, and yes you can survive, without your smartphone. Are you ready? Let's get started. Oh, sorry, you're there. Hey, last week at the beginning of the second day of a two-day workshop, one of the participants walked up to me with this blank look and pale face, looked sort of like this. I asked him what was wrong, and he says, "I forgot my smartphone." And he said, I don't have time to go back. I don't want to miss any of the workshop, so I guess I'm just going to have to go all day without my phone. And all day long, I checked in with him, and he said, I felt naked, that I didn't know what time it was, because that's how I check the time. He says, I felt disconnected. Not having his smartphone changed his day. And by the end of the day, once he got sort of used to the fact that it wasn't there, he said he was more focused. He was more productive. He was more engaged in what we were doing, and he was less distracted. Now, I know that this gray hair shows you that I'm old, and I remember doing business successfully without cell phones. Let me just tell you, it can be done. It's possible. In fact, it might even be preferable. Perish the thought. Well, how could you survive without your cell phone? I've got 4 ideas for you today to how to do it. The first one is to practice it. Yeah, I'm telling you to turn it off. Maybe leave it at home, but at a minimum, turn it off. And to start with, turn it off on the weekend, or turn it off when the end of the day comes. Or, you know, people talk about turning it off on vacation, which most of you can't do. That's almost like cold turkey. But turn it off for a few hours. Leave it when you go to lunch. Practice small amounts of time first of not having it. Guess what? You really will survive. Second thing is, once it's not there, observe more. Use the times that you would have been looking down at your phone as a chance to pay attention to what's going on around you. Now, that's good for us as human beings. See, let me give you an example. You go to any line anywhere in this world right now, and people aren't doing anything when they're in line except this. They're looking at their phones. I'm in line at the airport. I'm in line anywhere. And people are looking at their phones. They're not paying attention to the world around them. They're not noticing what's happening. They're not observing. Guess where learning comes? Learning doesn't just come from Google, friends. Learning comes from paying attention to the world around us. As leaders, we must be more observant. And so if you put the phone away or go for part of a day without it, you can use that time to observe more. Well, here's the next thing. When we've got them, we're all multitasking, right? We're watching TV and checking our phone. We're in a conference call and checking our phones. We're doing 2 things all the time. All the research says it. We really can't multitask. We can switch back and forth. We're never very good at either thing when that happens. If we don't have our smartphone, we will be more singularly focused. We'll be more productive and get more done because we'll be multitasking less. And what else can you do with all this extra time that you're going to have when you leave your cell phone turned off or at home? You can ask each other questions. You can become more curious about the world around you. Yes, you don't have to ask every question of Google. You can figure it out by asking someone else. You can satiate your curiosity by asking a person rather than asking Siri. Ask more questions. Now look at those last 3 things again. Especially those last 3. Once the practice happens and we have the chance to actually work without our smartphone, then those other 3 things help us in all parts of our role as a leader. Observing more, multitasking less, and asking more questions. All those things help us be a better leader. And you say, hey Kevin, I can't do that. No one does that anymore. Everyone's got their smartphone. Guess what? If you do what everybody else does, guess what results you're going to get? The same average results as everybody else. Besides, if you say, I can't live without my smartphone, you sort of sound like a whiny teenager. So why don't you just survive without it at least a little bit of the time, some days? I challenge you to give that a try. Let's close with today's tweet. You don't need a smartphone to lead. In fact, you may be smarter if you leave it at home. Yes, technology has changed our world. Technology has changed our lives, and technology has changed our ability, the challenges of us leading. Yeah, maybe it makes some parts of it easier, but as a leader, technology just gives us one more thing to have to get better at to be successful as a leader. Complex enough as it was, even more so now. Now, if you join us for the Remarkable Leadership Workshop, here's what I can promise you. You're going to have an engaging, enjoyable chance to learn with a bunch of other leaders who also want to get better. Will we talk about technology specifically? If it comes up. But what we will talk about are 100 things to help you make your job as a leader more effective, to help you clear out some of the clutter so that you figure out what really works and so that you can apply principles that have been around forever to help us lead others more successfully, to help others choose to follow us. I hope you'll join me for a future workshop. You can learn all about it and register on the links on this page and in this video. And I hope you'll do exactly that. Hey, before I leave, if you've got questions or comments that you'd like to ask, put them in the comments below. If you disagree with what I've said, go for it. Tell me that below. And if you've got an idea for a future episode, tell us that too. Here's the point. We're listening. We want to know what you need so that we can make the next episode of Remarkable TV even better for you. So until then, I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Remarkable TV.